Sponge paint a concrete block design. Concrete as a building material has been around for thousands of years. During the early years of its invention, concrete was made from materials like sand, gravel, cement, horsehair, volcanic ash, and other naturally sourced materials. Today, concrete is still made from these materials, but steel has been added to it to make it more durable and stronger. Definitely, concrete should be your choice to address your home improvement and building needs. If you're thinking about refurbishing, renovating, or simply updating the concrete wall in your home, there's a fabulous design idea that will work without you necessarily starting from scratch. This design idea is called sponge painting. It involves using a sponge to create a less than sleek but nonetheless traditionally beautiful way of making a blank wall interesting and eye-catching. Here's how to accomplish a sponge painting project for your concrete block. Prepare the following: different cans of paint colors. Buy the brand that is used on concrete block. Plain white paint. Again, this must be the brand that can go on concrete block. This is optional and you'll find out why later. Long-handled roller brush. Painting tray. You can use an old plate for this. Lots of sponges. You need a lot when you're sponge painting a large concrete block. Water carpentry tape. Measure old newspaper to line the floor with. Alternatively, you may also use canvas to cover the floor with while sponge painting. Cover the floor with old newspapers or canvas. This will protect the floor from the mess you're about to create. Any DIY project leaves a mess, so make sure you have the floor covered once you start to work. Paint the concrete block with white paint. You are instructed to apply white paint only if the concrete block is not a neutral or light color, or if the paint is slowly fading or chipping off in some places. Take a can of white paint and with a roller brush, prep the concrete wall by painting it with this color. After the paint is applied, give it time to dry off completely. What if the concrete block doesn't need a fresh coat of white paint? Then all you need to do is just wipe the concrete block with a wet mop or rag. Take a measuring tape. Measure the concrete block from end to end, and when you have the width down, take a note of it and divide the number by half, which leads you to the exact measurement of the center of the block. Run a length of carpentry tape down the center of the concrete block. This will be your guide for sponge painting section by section on the concrete block. Create borders. Cut pieces of carpentry tape to create borders along the concrete block. These borders will provide the visual guide that you need. There's a good chance that in your zest to create, you forget where the sponge goes directionally, thus the borders. Add water to your paint. On a paint tray, add just a tad of water to dilute the paint, but make sure the end result is a thick and gooey consistency. Dip a sponge in water and then dip the same sponge in the paint tray. You can now begin sponge painting sections of the concrete block. Dip and dab as you go along and carefully skirt the tape on the concrete block. You will notice that you are now creating subtle waves and protrusions on the concrete block. Use your creativity to create as many shapes using different colors as you wish. When you are done, let the paint dry completely before removing the carpentry tape. Step back and admire the work of your hands. Bravo!